Except 31? Yes, yes?
Yeah. Yep.
Yes? All right. Let's see. Now, since this is the first time, welcome to the town hall. Since this is the first time we're all back. Yeah, I know exactly. I don't know how I'm just kind of proceed the way that I feel like it. The entire board here, Mr. Galley, Mr. Baker Jr., Mr. Tansey, myself, Mr. Rosa, Mr. Baker Sr. We're all here. We're not participating remotely, so that's number one. Number two, we are waiting for Attorney Galvin. Mr. Rule is showing up. Attorney Galvin will be here, but he can step in after. Yes, I still need. I need a motion to open the meeting. So moved. I got one. I need a second. I got a second. I'm assuming we don't have to do a roll call vote anymore.
No, I think it's fine.
That's all said and done? All right, all in favor of opening the meeting?
Aye.
Aye. That's a vote. All right, so we're going to start off right off with agenda for the meeting. Blah, blah, blah. Let's see, continuance. Public hearing will be held by the Rockland Zoning Board of Appeals on Tuesday, 2021, 7:30 p.m. on the application submitted by Rockland Zoning Board Trust for a variance pursuant to 415-22 and 415-89.1 to allow construction of a single-story duplex two-family residence at the premises known as number 0, aka 24 Manzilla Court, Rockland, Mass. The property is located in the R2 residential zone, District 415-9 of the bylaw, is further identified as 54-029 on the Rockland section. The property is Rockland Manzilla Trustee, Missouri Grande Trust, 21 Manzilla Court, Rockland, Mass. 02370. The applicant and all interested parties are advised to check the town website and zoning webpage for additional information for the details and plans for this project or in file upstairs. So, you should be aware that we are recording. Green lights are on, so as far as I know, we're recording this. So everybody's clear. I received this June 14th, 2021 via email and first-class mail. Rosa Chair, Rockland Zoning Board of Appeals, Town Hall, 242 Union Street, Rockland, Mass. 02370. Regarding 0 Manzilla Court, parcel map 54, lot 9, Rosa. This office represents Rockland Manzilla Trustee, Manzilla and Grande Trust in connection with this matter. We write to request that this matter presently scheduled to be heard by the Zoning Board of Appeals on Tuesday, June 15, 2021, please be continued to Tuesday, July 6, 2021. We are consulting with town council regarding the matter and want to afford him sufficient time to review our materials. Thank you for presenting this request to the board for their consideration. Very truly yours, Patrick J. Brodsky, Dorian Taccio, Norman PC, CC, Robert Zilla, and Robert W. Galvin, Esquire. Yeah.
Yes.
Yes. Is there any chance that you know what the available dates are? I'm assuming he's already gone with.
That date's available.
It is available?
Yes.
Okay, so I'm putting it to the board. They're asking for a continuance. We need looking for a motion to continue to.
Who's voting for?
Good call. Mr. Galley, Mr. Baker Sr., Mr. Baker Jr., Mr. Tansey, myself, and Mr. Baker Sr. So that's everyone.
I'll make a motion to continue the hearing for 0 Manzella Court till July 6th at 7:30 in the lower conference room of the town hall.
I got a motion. Second. I got a second. All in favor?
All right.
All opposed? Nay, that's a vote. Yeah, possibly we'll give it a chance.
Yes. I'll do it fine.
All right. Now, so because that was the only advertising that we had. So we can then open up for discussion and potential vote for the modification of revised plans for building on a request of owner at 48 Pine Pudding Circle, Rockland, Mass. 02370. Who's talking? Step up. Name and address for the record.
Chris Alexander, on my home address.
Sure.
63 Country Road, Hanover.
Oh,
Talking on 48 Pine Circle.
okay.
The plan that was approved a few meetings ago isn't changing the end result. All we're looking to do is, instead of selective demo and add addition, we're looking to raise the existing structure, keep the foundation, but the final plan is exactly the same as what was approved.
Okay, I don't wanna interrupt you, I want you to continue, but I do have to bring it up that at the original meeting, both myself and Mr. Gator Senior recused ourselves just to make sure that everything was kinda on the up and up. We are down a full board member, we are missing a second board member, due to a family emergency. So we're running into quorum issues at this point. Does anybody remember, let's say, that this is a minor modification? Is this only a majority, or what is this? Remember? I don't know if we all do this. Exactly. So what I'm gonna do is I'm taking it on myself that we're gonna vote the rule of necessity. I have no problem I have no problem with sitting on the board and making and helping to make a decision on this. As I stated, Randy, as I talked to Ed, I told you, you originally contacted Hoyt Lansing. I worked for Hoyt Lansing. This is why the whole Perkins Engineering came into play, and that's who you're actually working for. Ever since we've talked, I have not had any communication about your job, about your project, about anything in regards to this, other than to relay a message that the building department wanted something added to the plan. Do you have any problem with me sitting on this?
None.
Okay.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes, sir.
I work for the highway department. You have
I
the
know.
drainage easement through there.
Yes.
We're gonna be doing some work up there, so I might be on the property doing the work.
That's why
with them.
he's recusing. That's
That's why I
he's the
refused before, because I was up there looking with my boss before where the pipes go and stuff.
Yeah.
But it's not gonna affect your project. That's what it really comes down to. Technically, he's supposed to be out of the room, but I'm gonna live with it at this point, because he's not gonna talk. I'm sorry, Chris.
That's it. So basically, the wording in the decision was, I think it was addition, selective demo of the existing house, and we are looking to just change that to raising the existing house, keeping the foundation, nothing in the final plan changes.
Okay. I just want to point out that after a discussion with Mr. Rubel, what he's looking at is section 415-24.d, restoration. A non-conforming building or structure which has been damaged or destroyed may be repaired or rebuilt, provided that such restoration shall not exceed the original area and height, shall be placed no nearer to the street than the building or structure which the restoration replaces, and the owner of said premises shall start operation for restoration or rebuilding of said premises within 12 months of damage or destruction. It was the only zoning bylaw that could kind of fit what we were doing, or what you're proposing. So the sheer fact is that the minor modification comes in just like you said. It was originally additions attaching to an existing house, but now we're tearing down the existing house and we're keeping the original foundation, correct? 100%?
Yep.
Okay. You've looked at the foundation, you know structurally it can handle everything that you need to do.
Yeah, full depth.
Okay.
Yep.
From there, it basically states in here, in the zoning bylaw, that technically, I guess technically you're not supposed to go any higher than what the house already is. Proposed plans show that the house is going to be going higher than it already is. The board has already looked at this. I'm assuming everybody remembers this a little bit. Again, I wasn't sitting on it, but I did review the minutes. I saw, who said what, who asked what, and what was granted. The overall the overall footprint of the house, and when I say the house, I mean the house with all the additions on it, didn't change. So the overall footprint and the variances that were already granted are still in play. They're not changing, or they're not asking for anything new. The only thing that is kind of changing based on this interpretation of the bylaw is technically it's going higher than what it's supposed to. That we've already discussed it on the meeting, and we would never ask. The question is this a minor modification? The whole idea is that the original foundation for the home is staying in place. So the house can't go any different. If all the dimensions stay the same, with all the additions, nothing's going to change. So the question is it a minor modification to put in there that we're in place of the existing dwelling? How would you word it?
The foundation.
Yep.
If the foundation's okay.
Yep.
And you use it.
Yep.
I'm gonna need an as-built anyway.
That's a given. We said that in the beginning.
Yep.
Okay.
I just want the board to realize that on that bylaw, it did say that it had to stay to its original height when the house was taken down. But in this situation where they've already been to the board, and you've already given them the okay for these additions, along with that height, back then, when they wanted the addition, that was fine. But now that they're raising the house, we got this height. Just want to let the board beware of that. It did come at, I don't know if you can remember, you probably remember, Greg, 1001 North Union Street, where we had the exact same thing. And they had to raise the roof off the house, and they had to cut 3 feet off the studs to bring the house roof back down to the original height. I don't want that to happen here. And the only difference is here is that they already went to the board and got the okay on these additions. But now we're raising the house, and we're going above the existing height.
It was kind of cart before the horse type of situation. And it's, again, looking at it, this was the only section of the bylaw that kind of worked. That kind of worked for it. And in the end, it does say that if the original house comes down, you can't go any higher than, on a pre-existing non-conforming lot, you can't go any higher than what it was already, but it's already been approved. The only thing that I would recommend is, again, you have to do a foundation as-built, that's a given, all right? In the end, prior to occupancy, prior to the issuance of an occupancy permit, I'd like to see a height as-built plan as well. It's something, once the roof framing is up, it's your surveyor coming back out, taking a measurement, to certify that the height is no greater than the 29-foot, whatever it was per the plan. Because that's gonna be an issue. If you go over 30 feet, you're cutting things down. We don't want that to happen. So that's the only thing that I would recommend. I'm gonna put it to the board, discussion. Does anybody think this is any more than a minor modification? And don't, if you disagree with me, disagree with me. I don't wanna, I can't talk to you. If you disagree with me, please, it's not gonna hurt my feelings. I think this is a minor modification. Mr. Galvin, talk to me.
Well, is the rule that it can't be an inch taller or a foot taller?
Technically, the rule is if it's an inch, it cannot be an inch tall. It cannot be any higher than the original structure. Here's the problem. It's technically not damaged or destroyed.
Yeah.
All right? Based on the architectural plans that the board saw prior, you already saw that it was going to be higher than what it was supposed to be because it was just an addition to the building. So there was nothing that was required, technically. There was no relief required. But you saw it, you approved it, as is, everything was cool. Now it turns into, technically they need a finding, basically, but we're classifying this as a minor modification because the board has already seen it. So
I haven't looked at everything over yet. What is the height difference? Are they're trying to go for?
I don't have, we looked at the architectural plans, there is no height, there is no elevation or height given for the original building. But
Pretty sure there is.
if you've got, I saw the proposed, but I did not see an existing.
But the proposed height is well below what's allowed by zone.
Exactly.
By quite a bit.
No, by 40 feet, it's 30 feet.
Yeah.
36 feet, 36 feet if you could be, if you were on 32.67.
But, yeah, I mean, it's not like it's
Still
not
below.
like a sliver of an inch. I mean,
No.
It's not really.
It's over half a foot.
The thing of it is, the height. The height is not non-conforming. You're not increasing the non-conformity with the height.
Right.
So, I mean, I'm totally in favor of a minor modification. I think that the architecturals look great. I think it'd be an asset to the neighborhood. And although the house is not damaged, I mean, they did come to us in good faith and tried to do this with additions, but they have, given the age of the house, the construction of the house, it just wasn't viable. I mean, it wasn't damaged per se by lightning or wind, but you could, it's tantamount to a damage because you couldn't add on to it. It just, you had to take out what doesn't meet code, and nothing really met code to really make it work. So I don't have a problem with a minor modification given those two circumstances.
Those two.
So so potentially, it's possible that it could be approved to be raised and rebuilt per the original design. Plus, because the zone allows it to be a certain height taller,
Yep.
that also could be approved potentially.
Technically, you've already done it.
Okay.
Technically, because under section 6.5, technically you already did that. It wasn't a major, it wasn't the crux of the issue. The major point of the last meeting was the horizontal placement.
Yes.
Right,
Yeah, I remember that.
it never really came, no pun intended, but it never really came up.
Yeah.
All right, it was, again, I look at it as it was assumed, at least on the applicant's part, because they provided an architectural plan that had that information on it. In the end, it still comes down to, it's not gonna be any higher than what it was, than what the zone allows, that's number one. Number two, we're not talking about anything horizontal, all horizontal, issues have been met, and approved by you guys the last time. It's just making sure that, again, based on the foundation as-built, nothing is any different than what they say on the plan. And when it comes down to the height of the building, based on the average grade plan that's defined in our zoning bylaw, as it's defined, as long as that height of the building does not exceed 30 feet. I'm not talking 30 foot and a half inch, all right? If it exceeds anything, you cut a half inch off, and it's unfortunate. But you're not proposing that height of 29 foot 3 inches or something? Yeah. Okay, so it's under, I mean, you've got 8 inches kind of to play with. Build it the way that you designed it, everything's good. Talk to you, talk to me, talk to you.
Given what we did the last time.
Yep.
And, the focus is on the footprint, or we just get the horizontality.
Mhm.
I don't even know if you call these minor changes.
In the end, the actual additions to these houses, to the house, minor or low.
Well, no, when I say minor, my emphasis is on the change, not
Yeah.
the minor.
Yeah.
I mean, for our purpose, for what the applicant submitted the application for originally, the verticality, as long as it was under that 30 feet, was really kind of irrelevant to
Exactly.
what the issue was.
At the time.
So I don't know why we can say it now is.
That's my point
Yeah.
as well.
Yeah.
That is also my point as well. It still comes down to a stricter reading of 415-24.d. That's what it comes down to. Because the thing has, it's no longer additions, all right? We're looking at it as the original house came down due to, to a natural cause or something like that. This is why it's kind of like, this is why I say it was kind of like the cart before the horse. Honestly, and I'm not gonna bust anybody here, but we should have looked at this prior. You know what I mean? You should have looked at this, taking down the house first prior, and made that decision first. It would have made this a whole.
We did not qualify for that loan originally. We've done a construction loan that required that we keep the walls up.
Exactly.
And then because of COVID and everything was
And
going on.
now the cost is not cost
They stopped
effective.
doing that loan that we were looking for
Yeah.
and couldn't tell us when they'd resume them, so we wound up going this way.
It's absolutely understood. It's absolutely understood. Everybody's looking to save a dime. I am, believe me, I'm a homeowner too. I know. No issues. I don't see an issue with it. Greg doesn't see an issue with it. Mr. Baker Jr., you don't see an issue with it.
None
Mr.
whatsoever.
Galley, do you see an issue with it? And if you
No,
do say.
no, I don't. I'm glad, my first thought to Mr. Baker's comment was, I was just thinking it's a good thing to say it out loud, because like I said, technically the height contradicts the restoration bylaw, but it's good to say it out loud so at least no one can say it wasn't approved or wasn't discussed.
That's the main reason why, this is why I wanted to do it this way. I don't want something to come back and hit, you know. Now, I got a question for the board. If they did not come to the board,
Mhm.
and we had this issue without the additions or anything,
Mhm.
and the house had to come down, had to be raised,
Okay.
would this still be the way it is today? With the height, we wouldn't worry about the height?
Not if it was under the 30 feet. I hear what you're saying about the pre-existing
Well,
non-conforming
what I'm saying
structure.
is, that bylaw should be adjusted.
Oh, absolutely.
We should do something with the height, because that's what I'm going by.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're gonna let these height, they go under 30 feet, some part of the town is 36.
Right.
So if you got a ranch house, and all of a sudden they wanna put a second floor on, and be 35 feet high,
Mhm.
with that bylaw, and if they didn't come like they did here,
Yeah.
we're gonna still let it go?
Based on the wording here, I don't think we could. Based on the wording, I don't think.
So again, the thing that's saving us here tonight would be because they have already came to the board, and we've already given them the okay. Good, I'm happy with it.
I see it as a minor mod, you see it as a minor modification, you see it as a minor modification, yes?
Yeah, sounds minor.
You're a lot bigger than I thought. Seriously, man, seriously. You look like a linebacker.
My wife tells me I need to be smaller.
Yeah, I just seen you on that stupid little screen. I expected a, dude, you are jacked. I expected something completely different. All right. Now the question is, how do we? All right, how are we going to deal with this? Usually we write something up. Usually Kim writes something up. I don't know how are you guys dealing with this today? Are you taking all the notes for
I'm
this?
just gonna take notes and email them to Kim.
Here's the minute gonna tell you.
Look at this.
Welcome,
I was about
sir.
to say, be told that everything we did is not,
No, but
compliant.
just-
Yeah, I know,
just see what you
exactly.
did.
We already finished.
Objection. Just following up with what we just commented on, Mr. Galvin's a lot taller than I thought he was.
Yeah, there you go. We basically said that it's a minor modification. We addressed the fact that the height is officially going higher than what the existing structure is, but still under the maximum requirement.
any closer to the law lines.
It's not changed. The overall footprint of, as shown on the design plan, is not changing. So we see it as a minor modification. It's a matter of how we write that up.
So, yeah, it should be written up and,
Can you provide some wording for Deb?
yes.
You guys can talk about this after?
I'll write it up tonight.
Okay.
Send it to Deb.
And,
As-built on height.
oh yeah, and we're still requiring a foundation as-built.
Right.
And we're also
Is there
requiring,
a legend on the plan with the updated information, so when we write it up, we say it's approved per plan, entitled, dated, so and so.
I'm gonna say yay or nay, I'm not sure. Is there a revision date on the plans as we see? Do you have these plans?
I do.
Okay. So we're gonna base that on the plans as revised, whatever you guys. I didn't even look at it because they look the same.
So it says existing dwelling,
There should be a note on the side.
Yeah.
Existing dwelling to be raised and proposed.
correct,
building.
existing dwelling to be raised and proposed building to build an existing, on existing foundation.
All right, so you still like that. All right, so as long as we're referencing the correct plans, you guys can talk about what is specific wording and is a vote required. I'm assuming a vote is required.
A vote to approve it as a minor modification.
Okay, I need a motion to approve as a minor modification. So I got a motion, I got a second. All in favor?
Aye.
4-1, and here's the deal. Prior meeting, I had to recuse, Mr. Baker had to recuse. Rule of necessity, we're missing Mr. Hessian, and Mr. Haynes got a family
So
of.
you invoke the rule of necessity.
Yes, that's, yeah, the rule of necessity, so. It's 4-0. So that's 4-0. I'll take a motion to adjourn unless anybody has anything to talk about.
Did you already approve the continuance of 0 Manzella Court?
Done and done. That was the first thing
I
I
believe you're gonna find that that's residential on a record, and subject to getting one more document satisfied.
I already knew this. I already knew it, but I mean, it is what it is. Once this whole thing started, then I did some things. There's no way that motion to adjourn.
Wait a minute.
Oh, we got something? Yeah.
You let me speak before. Can we send a letter of thanks to Chuck Hessian?
Let's talk to the regulatory secretary. Oh, everybody that hasn't had an opportunity to talk to her. Deb Shuttlesworth is our new secretary. She's the regulatory secretary for the town of Rockland. She's been kicking butt since she walked in here. And quite honestly, I just told everybody to say, hey, how you doing? Welcome her aboard. And, yeah. Welcome
She's
to town.
amazing and very helpful.
I know. Welcome to town of Rockland.
Thank you.
All right.
Motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn. We had talked to Deb specifically
Thank
about
you.
what you're thinking.
No.
She'll
Can
write
we just
something
leave?
out.
I feel like I'm in, like, court.
And at the
Yeah.
next.
Thank you very much.
Not a
Thank
problem.
you.
Motion to adjourn, we got a second. Motion, second on the motion, okay, we got a second, all in favor?
Aye.
Mr. Baker, raise your hand, there we go.